long time ago, in ancient Egypt, something amazing happened. It was the birth of the Great Pyramid of Giza, a colossal structure that still stands today after about 4,500 years. Picture it reaching an incredible height of 147 meters, making it the tallest thing on Earth for over 4,000 years. And get this, it weighed a mind-blowing 6 million tons, much more than even today's modern marvels like the Burj Khalifa. Now, you might be wondering, how on earth did they build such a massive thing back then? It wasn't like today, with cranes and bulldozers. They didn't even have wheels. Yet, against all odds, those ancient builders created something that stood the test of time, facing scorching summers, storms, heavy rains, and the unstoppable forces of nature. Imagine a structure proudly standing for more than 4,500 years, showing off human cleverness like nothing else. As we explore the mystery of the pyramids, we're taking a trip back in time to uncover the secrets of ancient Egypt. Welcome to Ancientworldstv, your portal to the past. The Great Pyramid is probably the most mysterious structure on Earth. Built around 2,500 BC, it held the record as the tallest structure for more than 3,500 years. These pyramids, massive tombs made of bright white limestone, were built to hide the secrets of the deceased. Going back in time has its challenges, especially when trying to figure out exactly what happened, when, and how. Historians think the Great Pyramid of Giza started taking shape in 2560 BC during the rule of Pharaoh Khufu. Now, Khufu's rule is a bit of a mystery. Some say it was around 23 years, while others think it could have been more than 60 years. On the west bank of the River Nile, the Great Pyramid isn't alone. If you look at pictures and videos, you'll see 3 pyramids in the same spot, each with its own story. The tallest is the Pyramid of Giza, also known as the Pyramid of Khufu. Then comes the Pyramid of Khafre, believed to be Khufu's son's creation. And finally, the Pyramid of Menkaure, linked to Khafre's son. These structures, along with the Stoic Great Sphinx, burial tombs, and smaller pyramids, create a grand picture of ancient architecture. With a total of 118 pyramids, all sorts of shapes and sizes, some worn down by time and others standing strong, these structures give us a peek into the mysteries of a time long ago. In the big book of history, huge structures were built for a special reason, wrapped in the stories of ancient beliefs. These enormous buildings weren't ordinary at all. They were like forever homes for the pharaohs, tucked away inside the pyramids. Imagine these grand homes where pharaohs slept, surrounded by lots of things like food, treasures, jewelry, furniture, and clothes, all carefully put there for their journey to the afterlife. The story of ancient Egyptian beliefs is like a beautiful blanket weaving the afterlife not as an end, but a continuation, a place where the soul gets judged in the underworld. If pharaohs lived good lives, they were promised to live forever in this special afterworld. To get ready for this special journey, pharaohs asked for big tombs, and the pyramids, like giant doors to forever, kept treasures safe for them beyond their normal lives. But figuring out exactly what these ancient builders had in mind is like taking a trip back in time with 2 big clues. First, the writings on the sacred walls of other pyramids and fancy coffins tell us about the customs and beliefs of these ancient builders. They show that these tall structures were meant to be homes for pharaohs even after they left the earth. Second, when we look at history as a whole, we see a pattern. Many pyramids in Egypt and Sudan were used as tombs. But here comes the tricky part. The Great Pyramid of Giza has its mystery. Inside, there's no clear evidence to say it's a tomb, making room for different ideas. Brave archaeologists who went inside found something confusing. A lonely box called a sarcophagus believed to be Khufu's resting place. Sadly, it had no treasures left, taken by time and seeking people long before the archaeologists arrived. Some people who study old things and dig in the dirt come up with interesting ideas. One of them says the Great Pyramid isn't a tomb at all. It's like a super old power plant that made electricity. Those who like this idea say ancient Egyptians were like tech wizards, knowing how to use electricity way back then. They point to old pictures on temple walls showing weird symbols that they think look like making a light bulb. According to this story, Egyptians found out the secret of electricity, a cool thing that got lost as time went on. The mystery gets deeper as we walk through the halls of ancient wisdom where ideas crash into each other and stories mix with things dug up from the past. The Great Pyramid of Giza, wrapped in mystery, keeps challenging what we know about the past, asking us to peel back the layers of history and find the truths hidden in the sands of time. Imagine a world where ancient Egyptians might have had light bulbs, a funny idea from strange stories. But here's the question. If they had these cool things, where's the proof? The truth is, when we look at the beautiful pictures on the walls, they don't tell a story about technology. They tell a story about myths and legends. The light bulb is just a fun idea people came up with. And here's another puzzling idea, that the pyramid was a giant storage place for lots of food. This funny theory comes from a man named Ben Carson, a politician in America who in 1998 suggested that the pyramids were built by Jesus Christ. It's a mix of politics and trying to make religious stories fit with history, steering away from what we know. Nowadays, most experts who study history agree that the Great Pyramid of Giza was, without a doubt, a tomb, a fancy burial place for the pharaohs. They thought that having a grand tomb would make their life after death even better. But here's the real mystery that still puzzles everyone. How did they build it? Imagine this, a massive structure, 147 meters tall, made of gigantic stones, some weighing as much as 80 tons. And get this, they didn't have fancy tools or machines like we do today. It's like a riddle from the past that no one has completely figured out. People have lots of ideas about how they might have done it, and they're trying to avoid strange and crazy stories. But before we dive into those ideas, let's clear up some wrong thoughts about how the pyramids were built. Contrary to what you might see in movies, the builders weren't forced to work like slaves. They were skilled workers who were well taken care of, and they were stronger than the average person in Egypt at that time. Think of it like a giant orchestra playing together, with 20,000 to 30,000 hands working together to create a masterpiece. The stones, carved from quarries, took a journey on special rafts along the Nile River. Now, here comes the puzzle. A wooden ramp winding up the structure, held up by pillars and ropes, showing how they carefully raised each huge stone. In 2014, a clever physicist named Joseph West told us about the dance of ropes and pillars, a fancy way of lifting stones to high places. As each part of the pyramid was finished, a new slope would appear, showing that the builders were smart in making the slope less steep. They might have used levers, kind of like the old Shadoof system for getting water, to turn stacking stones into a kind of art. The materials for this amazing pyramid came from the earth. 5.5 million tons of limestone, 8,000 tons of granite, and 500,000 tons of mortar. The kingdom's resources were put together with great care to make this huge accomplishment happen. Copper, a common metal back then, played a big role, helping to make tools that could shake the tough granite. Dolerite, a tough companion, helped to break the granite and reveal the hidden art within the rocks. But here's the lingering question, like a whisper in the desert wind. How did they move these heavy stones? They didn't have wheeled carts, so they came up with smart ideas. They used rafts and floating boats that moved the stones from the quarries to the shadow of the pyramid. Once they were there, something special was uncovered from the sands of time. A painting from 2014 in Ptahhotep's tomb that showed a lost method. In this ancient drawing, 170 people used their strength to pull a huge statue on a sled. And here's the trick. They poured water on the sand in front of the sled. A smart physicist named Daniel Bohn and his team figured it out. The water made the sand less sticky, making it easier to move heavy things. As the stones reached the top, the mystery of how they got there still lingered. Without wheels or modern machines, the builders chose a simple solution, making a ramp. In 2015, we found a 4,500-year-old wooden ramp in a quarry, proving how clever the ancient architects were. A straight slope from the ground to the top, all carefully planned with strong determination. In the quiet halls of history, the mystery stays with us, covered in the never-ending march of time. How did they manage to build this massive structure in just 20 years? The ideas people have, while reasonable, still dance on the edge of uncertainty. The stones at the bottom, with no mortar, show the builders were very precise, adding mortar and later layers to protect against time and earthquakes. The mortar is like a puzzle. Scientists know what it's made of, but they can't quite recreate it. Then comes the final touch, the outer layer, a covering of fine, whitish limestone that used to shine in the sunlight. Now it's a piece of the past, a quiet reminder of the beauty that adorned the pyramids of Khufu and Menkaure. Now let's shift from building to design. The pyramids show us a picture of accuracy and mathematical cleverness. The way they line up with the stars and the special shapes carved in stone make us think about a civilization that admired the cosmos. In the story of stones, ropes, and clever building, the Great Pyramid of Giza isn't just a big structure. It's proof of how creative and smart humans can be, a mystery still talked about by the winds that touch its old stones. Join us on a journey through time, where the huge mysteries of the ancient pyramids call out to us. Imagine a world without compasses, GPS, or modern gadgets, yet the Great Pyramids of Giza stand tall and accurate, pointing directly to the north, east, south, and west. How did the Egyptians do it so precisely? Let's dive into theories where researchers act like detectives to find the secrets of old craftsmanship. Picture this. A theory about the autumn equinox, a special dance where day and night are equal. Shadows made by the sun during this cosmic dance are thought to have helped with careful calculations, leaving almost no room for error. But the cosmic story doesn't stop there. Think about constellations, where the stars above become the architect's guiding lights. In 1989, a big fan of Egyptology named Robert Bowell shared the Orion correlation theory, a story connected to the three pyramids lining up with the stars of Orion's belt. It's like the ancients, with their knowledge of the stars, made their monuments look like the heavens. Hold on, though. This theory isn't fully accepted. Historians call it a fringe theory, questioning if the pyramids were planned and built at the same time. Astronomers, with their modern tools, checked the theory in 1999 and found mistakes because of the slow movement of constellations over thousands of years. It reminds us that when we're looking for patterns, sometimes we see things that aren't really there. As the cosmic story unfolds, human minds, always wanting answers, jump to the extraordinary. Enter the world of strange theories, where some say that aliens, not humans, built the pyramids. In our scientific journey, these ideas are like shortcuts taken when we can't find answers. Instead, let's stick to what we know. Admit when we don't know something, and make a path for future explorers and scholars. Subscribe if you haven't already for more intriguing content. Until then, take care, fellow adventurers.